is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today we are gonna be talking about one of my favorite DC Comics heroes, and I know she doesn't get a lot of love, but that's okay, because we're gonna give her some love today, and her name is Nubia. We are gonna talk about her and all that entails right now, but first, let's hit that intro.
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Before we get started, if you want to see more awesome comic book videos like this one, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click. Nubia first appeared in Wonder Woman number 204 in 1973 and was created by Robert Kanigher and Don Heck. Nubia was originally made from clay, just like Wonder Woman, but this time the clay was black, not white. She was even brought to life by Aphrodite just the same as Diana. But Nubia was kidnapped by Ares, so Nubia did not get the same powers that Wonder Woman had. At least, not exactly. Ares also called Mars back then as well because, Roman mythology, and they just stole gods because their gods sucked. Ares raised Nubia to be his standard bearer and champion. All the while, Nubia was being brainwashed by a special ring that kept her past and circumstances of her being in Ares' employ a mystery to herself. It would be years later until Wonder Woman would break the spell clouding Nubia's mind by reflecting the light of the sun towards Nubia's ring finger using her magic bracers, generating enough heat to make the ring expand and fall off. With the spell broken, this led to her turning on the god of war and taking his army of warriors and turning them into champions of peace. It's at this point in her publication history that Nubia would learn from Queen Hippolyta that she is in fact Diana's, quotey fingers, black twin sister. Pre-Crisis Nubia wielded a magic sword created by the god of war Ares, which was the only weapon on Earth capable of counteracting Wonder Woman's own magic lasso of truth. And like Diana, she could glide on air currents and possessed superhuman levels of strength, agility, stamina, reflexes, durability, and speed. In 1999, Nubia was revamped by Dozell Young and Brian Denham, becoming Nubia with an apostrophe in the middle as opposed to just Nubia, and no longer being touted as the quotey fingers black twin sister of Diana made from black clay, but an entirely separate entity. Simply another Amazon who won the tournament of grace and wonder that Diana had won, only Nubia would be the Amazon's first champion. She was also charged with protecting the entrance to the River Styx and Tartarus. Now, post-Crisis Nubia utilizes an enchanted sword and wears an enchanted set of armor that allows her to travel back and forth to Hades at will, as well as any other magical or mythical realm she chooses to visit. This newer version of Nubia was also blessed by the Gorgons with the gift of cold sight, which is the ability to turn anyone she looks at into stone. On top of all that, she possesses over 3,000 years worth of combat experience. She's proficient in Themiscyra combat arts, hand-to-hand combat, as well as weapons combat. She's also effectively immortal, as all Themiscyra Amazons tend to be, allowing her to look as young as she was in her early 20s after all these years. She can, however, be killed under certain circumstances, typically being beheaded. Post-Crisis Nubia still possesses the superhuman strength, agility, stamina, reflexes, durability, and speed of her pre-crisis incarnation, with the added bonus of a healing factor. Post-Crisis Nubia could lift as much as 100 tons and was more than capable of taking on even Diana without showing many signs of being in a fight. Her speed and reflexes are on par with Wonder Woman's, which means at the very least she's on par with Superman, considering the fact that Batman has even gone as far as to say that Wonder Woman's reflexes are faster than Superman's. And if that's the case, that means so is Nubia's. Her agility, durability, and stamina are also on par with Wonder Woman's. She also has superhuman levels in all 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. This is a direct result of her Amazonian physiology, considering that all Amazons are gifted with the gifts of 5 Olympian goddesses: Artemis, Athena, Demeter, Hestia, and Aphrodite. Nubia also, like any other Themiscyran, does not require food, water, or really any type of nourishment to maintain her life force. But this is only so long as she stays on Themiscyra, just like any other Amazon. And she can also fly, albeit with magical assistance. And if that weren't enough, she's also a fairly skilled archer. Her only real weakness to speak of is bullets and other piercing projectiles, same as pretty much all Amazons, and even then they tend to be more of a minor inconvenience than anything else. And as for some interesting little side notes, the pre-crisis version of Nubia no longer exists following the DC Comics event Crisis on Infinite Earths, which resulted in the collapse of the multiverse. Technically, pre-crisis version of her does tend to appear here and there, but the original version of Nubia no longer exists. During Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 1, we learn that Queen Hippolyta, the mother of Diana, and Nubia were and possibly still are lovers. However, that's hardly surprising considering that the island of Amazonia is 100% made up of women who believe in free love. During the Injustice series, Nubia sides against Wonder Woman. She was even appointed as the new Wonder Woman of Themiscyra after Diana had thrown in her lot with Superman's regime. Unlike Diana, Nubia has little to no interest in the world beyond Themiscyra. It's one of the few ways her and Diana are incredibly different, other than the obvious one. In Final Crisis, we first learn of the Earth 23 version of Nubia, who is the Wonder Woman of her Earth. Rather than hailing from Themiscyra, like the Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 1 Nubia, she comes from an island called Amazonia. Now let's get into some media. Though Nubia has never actually officially appeared on television or in any movies in any official capacity, she's had a lot of close calls getting introduced on the little and big screen. In 1975, producers of ABC's Wonder Woman TV series had originally wanted actress Teresa Graves, who some of you may recognize as the titular character from Get Christy Love or That Man Bolt. They wanted her to play Diana's black sister. Unfortunately, when the show was moved to CBS in 1977, the plans for that, for whatever reason, were not carried over. So she never officially appeared. An eerily similar character did happen to appear in the 1974 TV film Wonder Woman starring Kathy Lee Crosby. Another Amazon named Angela, who is played by Anitra Ford, ventures away from Paradise Island the same as Wonder Woman does, but instead of becoming a hero, she becomes a nemesis of Wonder Woman. Now, this is not Nubia, but originally it was supposed to be. Now, although she has yet to make any other appearances in media outside of that, comedian and actress Tiffany Haddish had recently campaigned to play the character Nubia in a Wonder Woman sequel or Nubia solo film. Since this news came out, nothing else has come of it. Haddish even seemed to be incredibly familiar with the character, even listing off some obscure facts that I've just used in this video. Speaking of comedians, Leslie Jones once came out on stage while Gal Gadot hosted SNL in a Wonder Woman costume, and though theoretically she is only dressed as the movie version of Diana Prince, this is probably about the closest we'll get to seeing anything like Nubia on the small screen. Now, as for who I would like to play a character like Nubia on the big or small screen, I actually have my sights set on actress Nefessa Williams. And for those of you who are fans of shows like Black Lightning, you're probably already familiar as she plays Anissa Pierce, aka Thunder. She's also had roles on shows like Twin Peaks, One Life to Live, and Code Black. Nefessa Williams is a very talented actress. She's already accustomed to playing a strong, confident character, so I don't think a character like Nubia is anywhere outside of her scope or ability. She's also a very beautiful woman, so she definitely has the ability to pull off the look of Nubia as well. And much like any other time I do little fan castings like these, if I don't pick an actor or actress that you think is better, it's probably because I have something else in mind for them. But anyways, now as for recommended reading, there's really not a lot to say about her. All I could really recommend is to check out the first 3 issues that she appeared in, which was Wonder Woman Volume 1, issues number 204 through 206. And I also recommend Earth 1, Volume 1 by Grant Morrison and Yannick Paquette. Nubia is another one of those black characters that, because of the time when they came out, they had very problematic origins, but at the same time, I feel like they've been able to grow past that and kind of distance themselves, whether it's by virtue of the storytelling or because other writers and creative teams came along and cleaned it up. I still think that, she's a character who still endures even today in the current Wonder Woman Rebirth run. She doesn't get a lot to do, unfortunately, but such is life. But anyways, let me know what you think about the character Nubia. Sound off in the comments. So hey, you made it to the end of the video. Awesome for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, I don't see how you didn't, do me a favor. Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap that bell so you know when I post up. Also, feel free to go check out my Patreon, where if you chuck in $1, you can get early access to most of my videos up to a week early. And if you have time, make sure you swing by nerd901.com, where you can find more of my content as well as other amazing stuff. Anyways, until next time, I love you 3000 plus ultra!